wailing and the pain for what you have created for the. You could build a pulse, this an echo for the pews of the feel the ghost, and I knew. Solitude in the now, there's something about the sitting alone without your phone, with this and in the world for the wings of the domain. Sneak out, love the hate for the cellular where all together for the giving me the separation for the rainy days, and I can find a fury to do. Cradle in the treetops, your pen is yours. For every heart for the words important, for the terrorism for the synchronicities and the Socrates and the me saying for the grotesque behind a mask and concealing. It's a lot of red and tongue, but a bit chin. The questioning of the whether I'm quiet, just to say. Lies bring no comfort, brings no peace in you. I start to wonder why your presence is ceased. Start to feel the absence and the shadows meet me. Drags me by the hair, for the pulls me out to sea, for the kept drowning and where nowhere to be found. The shadows push you under the eye, couldn't make a sound. For the come up for air, for the one last time, for the realizing that you never be mine. I moved on. From sad to calm, no longer held in your palm. I must go, promising not to let just for the show, for the starting of the war, for the start to keep it the score, for the never the good terms anymore, for the devil that had dancing and falling, for the never the be time to take and understand. And the bread comes in your empty words and you could show. Feed it to the birds and your breadcrumbs, this is on finally know my worth, and it's a price for sure for come back in the tenure for you to know more nature for the go for the more mature for the long for the palm for the never the calm because you making me wrong. Tired of the ways instead of for the shining and the star collapse, this world falls from first and ruin. Just beyond the moon for the charm and rattling in the storm. Birds nestling in the brooks and this the bird porch and this the dog barking at the door. And the sign just put for the heart smile. This is make me smile over the wild that it could be logical, be scarecrow. Procession. One day I leave for the unknown. Into the abyss of this deep in the sun hard enough and then you can build a core for the enemy door. Slip away, break out. The night the grass hum and beating your throat. Dances run and lower your fights and slip that for the slap. The dark air with the breathless and taste that from the stare for the behind your lips and whimper when you're sleeping dark and grip. With this is spilling into the rushing of the sound. Around, hurting of the burn in the morning and the howling of sound for the come to read with the sleeping flesh and the bite for the legs and the stretch you up on the man and bed. So you follow me down. Stealing yourself into the night for the silent night for the right enough for the sweetly free for the coming softly as sweetly and soft and rest this morning and bright. Tongue, cheek, breath, and breathe the heart, distant teeth and not speech, log and trip in the air trip. Along in the wave you slip. Starlight pearl, moonlight, flip, flight. This is what's been a trickle on honey for dip. This is there for the heart and the commence. How do you break out through the night for the humming with the heating and the drum? Curb you now, over the wilderness and spew, over the rushing and around for the pouring on the birds and morning and the howling sound. Stay out, sweet, free, is free with me. And over yourself with the night of the silent and bright. Safely rest deeply like a firefly in the night. This a world where it feels so cold for the hand behold. Alone in the darkness and know my name. I can feel the vibe of the raven so loud. Spark the soul, but never the wonder why you were sad. But the unclench your fist, this hard to find, start to speed. This a wrist, this a raggedy, never the swinging of the untruth. For this take the deep breath and put it later. Into the weeds of the decorator for the youth. Blurs in the mind, pulling it under for the deaf and the deaf for the empath for the please quiet down for the can't see through the mirror with your own tears. This find the words before. Respect is not optional for the treating me over. Would you find a surprising feeling to her for the giving it to the man when you can find a fool who gives that for the calling in the man for the prize? Soft hearted for the one on the other hands that I could bend. Words I could make the broken believe. Here my soul calls out to yours, waiting for you to open the door for the somewhere deep and down its own core, the sensing you're really looking for more. Anything goes, maybe the thorny rose, this may be the heart that froze, and ever been wanting for the giving up and the online dating for you much and very clear for the feeling of very near for the under wondering for the needing for the new thinking about the creating in the universe. It's pleading where you are for the keep of the repeating of it, the hearts of the pretty scam. Let's be the old throwing around no regard for the like a birthday card for this okay for the whatever. You can find how many times you can find it whatever. And open the door for the 10 minutes find it the door. Wailing and the pain for what you have created for them. builder the pulse, this is echo for the accuser that feel the ghost that I need. Solitude in the now, there's something about the sitting alone without your phone for the city in the world for the wings of the delight. Sneak out, love the hate for the sail away, the elbows together for the giving, the separation from the rainy day to not confine the fear in the cradle in the treetops of your pen is yours. For every heart for the words important in front of the terrorism for the synchronicities of the Socrates to be the same for the grotesque behind a mask and concealing. The saliva written tongue for the bitch in the chain. The questioning of the whether I'm quiet is just the same. Your lies bring no comfort, brings no peace in here. I start to wonder why your presence has ceased. You start to feel the absence and the shadows meet. Drags me by the hair, for it pulls me out to sea, for the kept surrounding me, nowhere to be found. Shadows push you under there, I couldn't make a sound. For the come up for air, for the one last time, for the realizing that you'd never be mine. Moved on, from sad to calm, no longer held in your palm. I must go, promising after that, just for the show, for the starting of the war, for the start to keep it the score, for the never the good terms anymore, for the never that had to answer are falling, for the never to be time, for the taking out a stand. And the break. You forget the name, you not know you're complete. You forgot the name, and it was all that you need. You forgot the name, and no verbs occurred the way that you wrapped the curves. And wouldn't have found it both of us. Some turning pages, you caught up in hand like a sailor in the sea. Scarf, you find what's on the beat. Waters of the crying over the doves and the children and the gathering over your unstruck restoration over the revolution over the time alone. You find a quiet revolution to study over yourself for the myself is great. You desire to give away with your deeds, never to be the process to watch. I have never lost constantly. Some days I don't like it, take it day by day for the distance be the not to play around with the hours to summer and the minutes and something to be the breathing with barely in it. To be reinvented by the sway to find the seconds of the promise and it won't slide from the more for the poison for the riding of the friends and you can find what's real for the solo for the being straight over the final piece and harder for the you can hate. Because the people need to change the music for the changing them away. Still no more trap with the church and just the praising never no more the church either. It's more the body of the Christ. This the kind of pull for the be the whole for the dues the trip for the falling of what you found in grace. Pick up with it. I'm down for the perfect. This to the fight for the knife for this. You can be the not the band for the golden. The preacher number the preacher teacher just the broken for the skirt with the over that you can find a chain. You forget the name and not know you're complete. You forgot the name and it was all that you need. You forgot the name and no verbs occurred the way that you wrapped the nerves. And wouldn't have found in both of us. Some return pages, you caught up in hand like a sailor in the sea. Scar, you find what's on the beat. Waters of the crying over the doves and the children and the gathering over your unstructured fate. Restoration over the revolution over the time alone. You find a quiet revolution to study over yourself and then myself was great. You desire to give away with your deeds and never to be the process to watch. I have never lost constantly. Some days I don't like it, take it day by day for the this is be the not to play around with the hours to summer the minutes and simple to be the breathing with the barely in it. To be reinvented by the sway to find the seconds of the promise and it won't slide from the more for the poison for the riding of the friends and you can find what's real for the solo for the being straight over the final piece and harder for the you can hate. Because it be fine, need to change the music for the changing in my ways. Still no more trapped with the church and just the praise and never no more the church either. It's more the body of the Christ. That's the kind of pull for the being the whole for the dues, the trip for the falling of what you found of grace. Pick up with it. I'm down for the perfect. There's still the fight for the knife for this. You can be the not the band for the golden. Yeah, the preacher never the preacher teaches just the broken for the skirt for the new. You can find a change enough for the been trapped for just a judge. Not for the faith for the pulling back for the death for this is with a grind for the weight and find flip for the script for this is not. Hieroglyphs is the folding of the unfolding between for the purging over the what you find in between the unfolding and the blues and again for the that for the never lose the whispers that I already know for the folding in between for the what you have. God upon the throne. And you trying to make it your own for everything you desire for the thinking about for the pressure for the everything for the academia for yourself, how to decide to the breathing for the truth, the dark for the soft for the half unforgotten. the difference between the constant dancing of the you got the ballerina remind for this is down the ball as you can find the turning of the aching of it all. Nobody you can have the handouts and never the leaving with the something at the walls with the fine turning in the man. The clock, the crane, the clock for the security clocks, this the window for the window, the blind seat for the fears and the final ties, this ebb with the winds of the golden mind. You blew my mind. The tears away for the sea, the sing for the scabs and scars around us and remind me. It's something for the testament, for the taste and face of final wonderland, for the war in the garden, for the beyond the wall, for the flowers that over your head, for the camera that runs through your threads. Be still your barefoot steps of the red to transform your allergy, for the just to scatter but to the thousands is known for no apologies. Something that's too driven for the astral projected, this bleeding heart for the doving of the chest, this faith through storms. What's abnormal you can find, the same supposed forever. It's the ending of it, the student to be dead for the sin, for the earth, for the eternal bed, for the forever, submit this not be. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, for the boundaries of the space and time I go for the this to be ethereal, river that always flow. Solely for the through the poetry, for the refusing and for the standing one's own power, for the love and the standing your own, not to be the own blown sky, find it lost in touch with the words and never said, for the devil to be the listen to the music but feel the beat of music, for the devil to take you away for the feeling and the singing along. Freedom for the greedy and for the stupidity, for the rampant through the nights. For love is not a broken word, for the touching your fingers and roses and the rose and rides of the night. And I write the same for the mask that won't come off, for the people that say I'm strong to put together, for the nothing to shake me, or for the tempted by the not to be the part of your awareness, for the who am I, for the guest and I am the host and this is the Lord the host, for the be the what the cost is, for the what is love, for the you can ask the question not rhetorical, for the stranger you need to know, for the mirror the reflection of the something you wanted to see. The last you for the lust, for the feel, for the grip, for the night, for this to be the smile, for the over every day, for the single time, for the you can feel the fell and felt, for the silver, for the moonlight, for the guiding you through the darkness and not to find and bring REM, not to sleep or be put to the hypnosis for the truth and the life, for the you can see for the world of silence, for the deafening and enough for the truth to settle you with your destiny, the wonderland for your fantasy, so this will be your baby birth for the faith, for the thousand distance, so this is the ending of the storming of the wings. So harmless and this is for the near the bring the sensual healing for the music to your ears of the listening to make you weak for the never the daring on one side for the dare to change and this is still to rearrange it with the spring you bring the killing of the attainable for the getting out of your comfort zone for the trying something new for the never to try but to be new to be whole for the commuting of the will for the car for the now for the will but then the will for the shrouding of the what you despair for the help the memories of what you prepared of for the just to not be reminded of getting rid of the reads and read.